gym. This dope, this smoke, this salmon with the coke, she fiendin'. I serve them. Caught a body in a booth, I kill not rappers easy.
This happened after I was released from Chesterfield County Jail, which to say the least, a lot of went down in the span of a few months. I graduated high school, signing up for the Army, not going to the Army because in my mind, I was doing it all for the wrong reasons. I defeat that purpose by doing exactly that, by letting my dad talk me into registering for ITT Tech. But if you had to put both choices on the scale now, little to no chance of dying versus great chance of dying, yeah, easy choice as an 18-year-old, don't you think? I had my whole future to live for, and putting my life on the line for a cause I couldn't even understand at the time was nasty work in my book. Other than that, it was a lot going on the year 2010. So I go extra hard on that hard flow. Call me D. A decade and a half ago, bro. Hey, look. Hey, 90s babies. Oh, we old as fuck now. Maybe not too old, but according to the culture, we old as fuck now. But anyway, we just gonna focus on me leaving jail part. Now, I've touched on this before in the past story, but I purposely left this specific part out, that story, to save for later in my YouTube journey. So here it is, the full version if you ain't seen it yet. I caught the charge while I was still in school, so I was able to graduate, turn down the Army, then attend college courses on campus before my court date. The judge slapped me with weekend time and a fine. Now, because the fine wasn't paid before my day to do weekend time, they kept me for the next 2 weeks. And nobody knows until stepmom tries picking me up out there and figure it out. Oh yeah, he locked up. So getting out of jail was different. Even though I only spent 2 weeks of my life there for something minor as hell, it was still a difference in perception for me. I don't care how long you spend in the cell, I guarantee you, you will never forget it. That's why the prison genre today on YouTube is damn near saturated at this point. First thing I do, I take a walk around the front of the jail thinking I had somebody waiting on me, but I told them how many days I had left, but not the actual day I get out. I start looking for ways to call somebody, which now today I know I could have just called before I was released. I saw a white woman walking her dog and I asked her, hey, can I use your cell phone so I can call my folks? And surprisingly, she said, yeah. Like, you know, young black man who clearly just got out of county jail. I just knew she was finna gun me down. Gun me down, like deny me, like say, nah, you can't use it, not gun me down like shoot. After 30 minutes of waiting, I see them pulling up to the light. I don't give them a chance to pull into the parking lot. Get me away from this motherfucker, please. First thing I do, hit the blunt. My uncle passed it to me, and off the rip, I knew my tolerance hit a reset button. I passed it back, asked for a black. So we pull up to my dad's crib where the rest of the family at and all that. My cuz was there too and was about to leave, and I see my uncle cop some joints from her. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I missed right here. I'm about to run over there and catch her before she leave. And because I just got out, she look out for me. You know the 932s? If anybody who familiar with pills, I don't even think they're on the street no more. 932, 10 milligrams. This would be a very crucial moment in time for me, and here's why. Now, I won't figure this out until I start the journey that I'm currently on right now. But while I was locked up, I was going through a mild withdrawal. The only symptoms I experienced was that restless sleep and drained energy. Ain't that a motherfucker though? You literally begging your mind to turn the fuck off, but during the day when you want to be active, it feels like you're dragging around an unalive gorilla, bro. And you know, I could be tripping because it was always cold in there, which I learned is like the same thing as hospitals. You know, they keep the temperature low because most germs and bacteria can't live past a certain degree. But I felt colder than normal, you know, even during lockdown under that thin ass cover, bro. I'm on the fence about that part because there was no sweats. What comes with cold is followed by sweats. But I think my brain rationalized what I was feeling as normal. You know, maybe I need to eat more. Do I have insomnia? These covers is thin. You know, basic things with no real conclusion behind it, other than what I thought I knew already. Days leading up to the release and the day of, not gonna lie, I felt like I was fresh out the wrapper. New man, amazing. But again, I rationalized it as me being so excited to be home, but not in the moment rationalized it. You following me? It's like I'm not in the moment about to go home and I'm rationalizing it. I don't know that I am, but that's how strong your mental is. That's crazy to me. Later in life, somebody told me this is what this is. The symptoms went into overdrive. But you see, really, it's been this bad for a while now. Only difference is me and my brain ain't in the dark no more. Everything resembling a symptom was rationalized as withdrawal. it swapped itself out. But if I would have swore off pills the way I swore off weed, I'd have been free of it all. But again, I say, because I didn't know that there was no reason to stay away, why do it? Now let's fast forward a little over a year and a half. I'm fully back on the wagon, falling deep into my addiction. Me and my girlfriend at the time, China, we're on and off after she moved back to her hometown, which is Boston, Massachusetts. Now, this was one of those I'll walk 100 miles to bring you a cup of water type of love. I can't live in a world where we're not a couple type of love. You know what I'm saying? It was unhealthy as fuck, to say the least. Now, I'm just embarrassing myself every chance I get, begging for her to take me back 1 week, then telling her this long distance relationship, this thing will never work. The next, I'm talking about calling her from different numbers because she ain't picking up mine. Look here now, I even had access to her call log. How? Well, before she left for Boston, I was working for McDonald's and I had saved up some bread to go ahead and buy her a phone. We were only able to talk when her mom let her use her phone. So okay, let me go ahead and make sure I can call her when she leaves. And I got her one of the old Boost mobile flips. Because I paid for the phone, I had all the info, the login information, the account, all that. So I log into our accounts to see who she's calling or who's calling her. Oh, she said she about to go to bed. I don't believe it though. Let me go ahead and check this junk. And I actually caught her in a few lies that way. But that ain't stopped, because like I said, I thought I couldn't live without her ass, no matter what. So now I'm trying to cope with all this pain I'm enduring right now by running to the one thing that is guaranteed at least make me think I don't give a fuck. Perkies. And other girls, of course. One night, I'm over a chick house in the process of cheating when my girl, China, finally calls back after no contact for days. It's not to say hi or how you doing, nothing. Long story short, I talk about this in full detail in a prior story. I'm not sure which one. When I find it, I'll put it in the video somewhere. She told me, I'm just not in love with you anymore. So with that heart-crushing reality, I go on my very first perk binge. I went out to the Porsche talk on the phone. So the girl I was supposedly with was salty. And I don't know if she knew I was talking to another girl or not, but I just know she was salty. I'm making my way back inside the house, but the door is locked. So I look through the window beside the front door, and I can see her, angrily now, running up the stairs to her room, crying. I try calling, knocking, texting, but nothing. So I drive back home feeling even more of a fucking loser. I had 2 women gun me down tonight. When I got back home, I checked my stash. I got 7 of the white 512s and 3 pink 10s. I take 2 of the 512s, then I, self-harm myself for a brief moment. It was almost like the pain never existed. So okay, time passes, and I take 3 more because the highs weren't off, and harm myself again. I really started gauging my come downs by how much pain I was feeling, which was totally unreliable because everything I did reminded me of her. My Facebook feed, screensaver photo, the spot we sat on our first visit, real goofy puppy love. And I finally couldn't take it because now I just want to sleep, to not deal with it. I take the last 2 512s and all the pink 10s at once. Directly after, I find a sharper blade and make the deepest cut I could handle on my arm. Cuts that I could barely feel being so numb at the time. On the inside and out. In that moment, this is the cut that I made to my arm after I took all them perks. So all together, that's 65 milligrams of opium within a 3 to 4 hour span. Yeah, sure, don't sound like much today, but again, I was a cold green bean, my boy, and only weighed 165 pounds at the time. And just to pause right quick, please, I don't want to trigger nor incite anyone to follow my lead on trying to cope with any inner pain. That pain will only heal with time. No matter what you do or who you screw, detach yourself from the source of the pain. Occupy your mind and let time take care of the rest. The steps that I should have had taken, but hey, what do the wise folks say? They know not what they do, right? So right now, I'm just numb. Oh yeah, I'm dumb numb. Felt so good that night. I sat at the kitchen table, got a family member to take a pic of me. I really want you to understand this. Got a family member to take a pic of me. And this is how cool I thought this shit was. I wanted y'all to see this pic of me high. I thought this pic of me high was fire. Look at it. Looking like I'm asleep. Mid-dose. I thought that shit was fire. Just to give you a glimpse into my mentality, those was dark days for me. You know what I'm saying? If you've been following this, my addiction story series from part 1 up until now, I've already decided that getting high was fire. And then at this point, I'm just using and abusing any reason to take more. So as the hours fly by, my phone vibrating, it wakes me up mid-doze, still at the kitchen table, phone still in my hand. As it's waking me up, I'm rushing to open the phone because I genuinely thought I missed a call from her, my girl. But just noticed I'm just tripping. Nobody called, you know what I'm saying? It was a Facebook notification. I got up pacing the floor because, God, please get this out my head, bro. Then out of nowhere, I hear my name being called. At least I think so. Now I'm high, but I'm not crazy, right? I heard my name being called. I opened my stash bag, is what I used to call it, as if I had any more perks left, forgetting that I took the rest hours ago. Now I'm pacing the floor once more again. I hear my name being called, Damon. But they're not saying Damon. It's like I hear my name being called and fast forward, louder this time. Okay, now I'm officially terrified. So who I call, y'all? Who I call? For my regular day ones, who I call? The guy that was second in command father to me, my uncle, Cleese. What up, Cleese? If you didn't know, that intro song, Hard on the Hard Flow, was made by my uncle, Cleese. And yes, he does have a channel, and it's called Cleese Reviews.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? We review right quick. Bazooka Joe is the name of the game.
But yeah, shout out to you, Unc, my pop's younger brother. And I called him to tell him this crazy ass story. And I was expecting Unc to judge the out of me. Like, oh, nephew, the hell you got going on now, boy? That sort of thing. But no, Unc ain't add no extra sauce to the convo. He let me say what I had to say. He listened. And at the end, he told me to meet him on Broad Rock. For my people in Richmond, y'all know what Broad Rock is. He's coming from the Circle. I've done stories about the Circle. And I'm coming from my grandmother's house in the Dirty 30s. I've done stories about the Dirty 30s. So we get there at the same time. And I'm telling him everything I'm going through. I break down in front of him. I'm scared, I'm hearing voices, or maybe I took too much perks, but your brain got a way of coping with crisis situations by misinforming you. Because I knew deep in my mind, heart and soul, it was that pain over that girl. That's it, that's all. Maybe I heard voices, maybe not, but I'm just telling you the way it went 100%. We outside in the middle of this intersection at 2-3 in the morning because my uncle didn't give a if it was all in my head or not. All he knew, his nephew was hurting. And sometimes a hug and a listening ear can be the best remedy for whatever pain you're going through. I want to say 2 months down the line, I'm still cutting, still popping, and I'm still in pain, but not as much. My uncle and auntie started taking me everywhere they went after that. It was a way to look out for me and keep me around some positive energy, keep my mind occupied with something other than her. And these two, they were a tag team hustle operation. I mean, would drive all over the city, dusk till dawn, selling smoke, selling weed. And by this time, I had already started selling weed, but I was never consistent enough to keep clientele or have a steady flow of revenue from it. That would happen way later. So not long after, I was reconnected with a woman I had already met 3 years prior. The woman today who I've spent the last 14 years of my life with, Kendra, what up, babe? My auntie's little sister. Now wait, that may sound crazy. I would end up meeting her older sister while she was dating my uncle, Cleese. And that was back when I was 11 years old. And her sticking around for so many years, hey, fuck it, I started calling her auntie. Thus, meeting Kendra 7 years later in my junior year in high school. You know what I'm saying? But we wouldn't start talking on a more serious level till those dark days came knocking at my door. As me and Kendra getting closer, the real healing process kicked off. Shout out to my Uncle Cleese. Shout out to my Aunt Corla. Yes, I said your names. I love y'all. Congratulations on the marriage. She's officially a Jackson, y'all. Yeah, she got that Jackson name. You heard? All right, so yeah, the real healing process kicked off. You know, they say us black folk are some of the most welcoming people that you can meet, right? I can't say the same for this new generation, but still, for the most part, her family, they had so much love to throw around that. It was like an indirect therapy session. Every time I came by, bro, me and China, we still a thing. Our relationship was literally on its deathbed, but neither of us could let go at the time. Now, ironic enough, Kendra was going through the same. Smack dab in the middle of a relationship that was already dead and full of pain. Now, just to pause, y'all might be asking what all this got to do with the intervention. It will make sense by the time we get there. In order for you to understand how the intervention even happened, you gotta know the backstory before you get there. Just bear with me. While I'm sitting here torn in between the two, I take one more desperate shot at getting back with China by doing this. Boy, well, y'all hear this shit here. Alright, so I'm outside on the back porch on the phone with her, having a great conversation, you know what I'm saying? Almost feel like the old days. I tell her I got a surprise for her. I ain't got no surprise. I'm really just doing anything I can to ignite some type of flame back in this relationship, bro. On the spot, an idea popped in my head. And I'm thinking this is gonna win her heart again, you know what I mean? This gonna get her back. As I'm walking away from the porch, I'm telling her, hey, guess what, babe? I got a new tattoo, but I don't. But I am on the way to the tattoo parlor to get one. Literally in the moment, as I'm telling her I already got it. She excited and everything, because I mean, why tell her it's a surprise if it had nothing to do with her, right? But yet, I can still hear some type of bitterness in her voice. Maybe that's just my paranoia. I can hear that pushback. Her reaction, it kind of felt like, damn, I hope he didn't, you know? And I'm no fool, but all you got is hope at this point in the game, bro. We 4th and inches, no timeouts, with seconds left on the clock. Hail Mary, baby. I tell her my phone going dead. I'll call you back when it charge, and I'm gonna send you a pic of it. Right after I walk into the parlor, I tell them what I want. It take about 30 minutes, and I'm done. And this is what I got. That's a 1, that's a 4, that's a 5. I got 145, which stands for I love China. Yeah. If you spell them out, the numbers represent how many letters are in the word. It seemed like things were back to normal. Oh my God, you know, we really lovey-dovey again. But not even 2 weeks later, bro. Oh yeah, I think we just need to part ways. Now, of course, heartbroken for a second time, but nowhere near as much as the first, because I already went through it with her, specifically. And I think I knew. I saw it coming. I was just fooling myself, but you know the heart want what the heart want. So yeah. Needless to say, I felt stupid, but whole reason I got a representation rather than her actual name, it was sort of a insurance policy. You know, that way, if it didn't work out, I just got a few numbers on my wrist. I thought about covering it up, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna keep it as a reminder. Bro, I was just so glad I went through that at a young age. Imagine going through a heartbreak like that at 30, 35, 40, and it's your first experience with it though. You can deal with heartbreak a lot better later on in life when you've already dealt with it as a kid. So that's why you see those guys who grow up to be millionaires and big deals, but never really had playback in high school. You see them lashing out and they don't know how to handle emotions when they get grown. Me and Kendra, we had got even closer, to the point where Kendra ends up getting her own apartment a while later and surprising the hell out of me because I didn't think she would do it. But this woman let me move in with her. We getting settled, and I'm talking 6 months staying with each other. One day we get a visit from one of my family members, and this family member tells me about a rumor that they've been hearing about me. What rumors? You know, what you been hearing? And it was me getting high, of course, but not that I'm popping pills, that I'm sniffing dope. So, like the immature young man I was, I flipped the fuck out. I was mad, I was pissed off, resentful, because yeah, you had it half right, but like I told y'all in many past stories, bro, I was misinformed. Popping perks was cool. Snorting or shooting dope was junkie shit. I ain't no junkie. It's all the same addictions, administered in different ways. And I try to let it go. All right, whatever, you know, who cares? Let them talk. After close to a year and living with Kendra, I start getting a little conflicted. Thinking in my mind, do I really want to settle in at the age of 20, 21? What if I'm missing out on this? And she got a son? Man, that ain't my kid. Is he my responsibility now? Like, all these thoughts going in my head, topped off with my father and other family members telling me she's going to use you. Oh, you only there to be a glorified stepdaddy. So after being estranged from my family for a while, I decided to take a visit. The reason is to get some advice from a family member about being with Kendra. This is a family member who's genuine. You know, no matter who you are, you know, they look at the right and the wrong. They look at the good and the bad. They give you the real, straight up, no matter. And she basically just telling me the smart thing to do is to move out. You know, visit here and there. You know, take it slow. You don't have to move in right away, but I'm wanted there. You know, I feel like I'm not being a burden to people there. And yeah, that can sound like a sorry excuse. It can sound like a bullshit excuse, but that's really how I felt. For any reason I felt like people didn't want me around, it was my own fault on why they felt that way, if they felt that way. It was my own fault. But see, being at that age, being young and dumb, high as fuck, You won't see it that way. Your point of view is fucked up. You want to point the finger everywhere else but yourself. And look, I get it. I'm 19 years old. I'm young. The smart thing to do would be leave that woman's house, get your shit together, find yourself, build yourself up first before you go live with a chick. Have that woman come live with you, or y'all build a home together. That's something my dad's been preaching my whole life. But in that specific moment, in that time, I knew I already burnt the bridge with them. But they would still let me stay just off the strength it's me. And I didn't even want to put that energy in their house. That's what I'm saying now. At the time, I'm like, man, they don't fuck with me. Man, them people don't fuck with me. They act like they fuck with me. That's how I'm looking at it then. Nah, niggas taking pity on you. Because they really ain't got to do it. Ain't no obligation to a grown-ass man. You chose to go out here and do what you did. But anyway, after I get this advice from this family member, I try to take heed, but I really don't listen to the advice. I go do what I want to do. So I would start hearing rumors again, how the family looking at me, the decisions I'm making, and what they think I'm doing and what I'm not doing, what I should be doing. I exclude myself again for a while. I distance myself from the family again. And that just means I stop coming over. I stop calling people. I stop coming around, going to cookouts. My own decisions. So a little time go by. And one day I get a call from my Faja. He telling me he need to talk to me about something real important. I want you to meet me at grandma's house. Now, when he say that, first thing that pop in my mind, oh shit, he know I'm popping pills. Yeah, he know it. He know. He found out it's over. But I'm like, I can't not go. If he did or whether he didn't, it just looks guilty if you not going. You know what I'm saying? So I told him I was coming. And my whole ride over there, I'm just thinking in my mind like, look, if this what this about, son, is you doing this, I found out you're doing this, I'm just going to come out and tell him, fuck it. I'm going to come clean. So I get to grandma's house and it's hella cars outside. I'm like, another cookout I won't call for, another event that I ain't know about, like what's going on here? I walk in that joint thinking I'm about to walk into some food on the table, nice little, everybody is in the living room, including my grandmother. My grandmother didn't move around much. I'm like, what the hell? Like, who died? Like, so I sit down, say what's up to everybody, hugs and kisses, whatever. We get that out the way. So as we sitting down, we just get into bullshit conversation. Everybody conversating with each other. And out of nowhere, my dad just shifted the conversation. Hey, how you and Kendra doing? Oh, we all right, you know? It got to the point where the questions got deeper in depth. It got to the point where other family members was asking about our relationship. The point where they asked about what I'm doing with myself and do you plan on getting your own apartment? I stopped for a second and I finally figured it out. All this attention is on me. They only asking me questions. Why ain't nobody else getting questioned? What's going on? And I thought my dad said he want to talk to me personally. I look around the room. I look at the messages I got from my dad on my way there. I think about the conversation we had. I think about the cars outside. I look up. Everybody in the living room is looking at me. No. This ain't a fucking intervention, bro. Whole time, bro, I'm thinking this is an intervention for my drug addiction. But it was an intervention for me to get my life together. They felt like I was making the wrong decisions. Going to stay with a girl who already got a child is probably the worst decision you can make at this point at 19, 20 years old with no prospects in your future, which I cannot disagree with. Now, at the time in the moment, it pissed me off. I'm only thinking small view. Oh, this is only about the relationship. This is only about her. They don't really know her. This is about you. But like I said, I'm so fucking immature and dickheaded. I'm just catching the attitude the whole time. All of a sudden, I just got silent and just let them ask questions. I give brief answers. Eventually, it ended because they saw that I wasn't going. They saw that I wasn't giving up no sauce. You know, I didn't leave right away. Looked at the house, you know what I mean? I'm looking out the window. You know, I'm really just thinking about everything I heard today. And I go in my pocket, take out these 2 pink tins. And I want to throw them out the window. Take both of them. And I didn't go back to Kendra's house for the rest of the day. I didn't get back there until like 2 in the morning because on one side of me, I was trying to tell myself I was right for feeling the way I was feeling. But on the other side of me, they was right. The reason why I stayed away the whole day, I felt like walking back in that apartment was going against the grain, going against my future because everything they said to me scared the fuck out of me. But that's what they were supposed to do. That's the whole point of the situation. Now, I'm not sitting here saying Kendra played a part in my downfall. No, I was on a down spiral before. If anything, Kendra was the reason I got grounded again. If it wasn't for me meeting that woman, having time to sit down in one spot for a long period of time, I don't think I would have got that far. I might be dead right now, honestly. You know, she kept me in the house because I was an outside baby for real. I stayed outside. Nothing couldn't keep me from them streets. whether if it was girls, selling drugs, just to be around the environment in the hood. That home that she made there kept me home, kept me in the house, kept me safe. It helped me get to know who I was. You know, it helped me find myself. I had a lot of time to spend with myself, work on my craft, the different talents, my creativity. I had time to do all that shit instead of running the street doing nothing. And I think about that day like, what if it was an actual intervention for my drug addiction? What if that what it was about? What if everybody put their hand in and said, look, we're gonna help you get to a rehab center? Most likely I probably would have denied it and kept acting like I don't do nothing. Who knows? So even though it wasn't what I thought it was, it still was in a sense. It was in every sense of the fucking word of an intervention. Because regardless of anything, it would have been the same type of talk if it was the drug addiction talk. But what I will tell you is, stop shooting down them people that's talking shit to you about your life. A lot of concern can come off as disguised hate. You know the genuine ones when you know it. You know it when you see it, you know it when you feel it. Stop gunning them people down. I had a whole family, bro. I had 15 to 20 people riding for me at one time. For me, bro, just to get my life together. No big event going on, just Damon, get your life together. We care about you. And right here, right now, I want to say to all those people who set me down that day, including my grandmother, God rest her soul. I appreciate y'all so much for having so much faith, having so much foresight to see the potential that y'all saw in me at the time. Because I'm now using that potential for something greater. Something I should have did at that time y'all was trying to tell me. Some of the guys that I used to see in the street back then when I was 19, bro, they are still on the same block, doing the same shit with the same thoughts, the same, no aspirations. We gonna get high today, fuck hoes, and maybe hit the club with no money. I refuse, bro. That ain't my fate, and I hope it ain't y'all's either. But that's all I got. Y'all stay safe, y'all stay positive, y'all stay sober. If you ain't moving, you losing, my boy. And we out. Call me, D.
Hustler talk, no comment though, just paper chase. Chasing my dreams, my nightmares ain't got no money. Just a cardboard sign and they existing so bummy. And they want me down with them at the bottom.